There we go. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Let's see if the internet is actually working appropriately. 35,000 kbs. The Ethernet cord seems to be working, and we are good to go, everybody. All right. Sorry about the late night, everybody. Loki says hello. Come here, Loki. Come here. What's your hello? Oh, I have no treat, so he just wants to come over and sit by me. Sorry for a little bit of a late start to the stream here today. My Ethernet got messed up when I was cleaning up my room. Basically, well, not my room, but one of my other rooms here. I have a long Ethernet cord that goes from this room here all the way into another bedroom. And when I was closing the door, I actually kind of just jammed it in there, and then the signal stopped working on my computer. So I had to go rush over to Best Buy and actually buy one, and I got stuck in a little bit of traffic here. So happy to see all of you guys here. Hope you guys are all having a good Monday. I know the Bitcoin market's not too good, or the crypto market's not too good, but I hope you guys were able to have a good Easter, okay? Loki wants to say hello. Now, he has already had a lot of treats today, but his treats are in the other room where I was cleaning up earlier, so I don't have them with me. But he's gonna act like he hasn't gotten anything, but he's gotten plenty of treats. Look up, up, up. There you go. That way you guys can actually say hi to him before he starts pouting. And yeah, he's just resting his head on my lap and like, hey, I want extra treats. But I don't have any for him right now. So let's get started here. There we go. And hey everybody, hey Shannon, happy to see all of you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hey, the code. I don't hear the audio. Make sure the audio is okay. Is audio good? Audio good. Test 1 2 3. It should be coming through. It should be coming through here. And hey, I'm happy to see you guys here. All right. So let's talk about what's going on right now. You guys do know that a few minutes ago we did have that close where we officially had this breakdown here. Usually after the breakdown, we come back down a little bit more just because the uptrend is over, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. I think yesterday was the big surprise. If you guys recalled, I put out a video, I think on Saturday, because I was busy taking care of Loki and my sister before my sister went back to college here. But I put out a video for you guys telling you guys that this was a nice little move right here, but we had to start moving up closer to 72,000, 73,000 if you guys actually wanted to see the pump continue and see some really good things. We weren't able to do that, and right now we're kind of paying the price. As long as we weren't able to break above this level of resistance, kind of around 72,000, let's just call it that, you know, it was going to continue to be a wall, and that's kind of the wall we're facing right now. Now, after all that's said and done, simple breakdown, that's what happened here. Even if you guys go over to the 4-hour chart, you will see that we are breaking down right now. This is going to lead to more bearish activity in the future, if you ask me, just because you're starting to see some of these death crosses happening again. Just like before, all of a sudden we're having another set of death crosses between the 20 and the 50 on the 4-hour chart. After that, we might even have the 50 crossing down below the 200 here pretty soon, so I'm going to be keeping a close track of that. Also, we are breaking down below the 200 on the 4-hour chart for the first time in a while. The last time we broke down below it was all the way over here. Yeah, that was back in February. Give me 1 second here. I forgot I changed the canvas on my phone, so I have to change the canvas back over here. That too big? Maybe 24? No, I think 28 is good enough for you guys. There you go. There you are. Just so you guys can see what I'm talking about here when I'm looking at the numbers. Now, because of that, you are seeing a pretty good dump. In the scheme of things, we're still going sideways here, but I don't like this on the daily chart, as you guys know, and that's primarily because I don't want to see a death cross after Bitcoin makes all-time highs. I'm kind of superstitious about this, if you will, mostly because usually once we make those all-time highs and we have those death crosses, which it seems like is going to happen now, unfortunately, usually we start to come down a little bit more. I'll be patient and I'll be kind of watching off on this for a little bit. You guys know I took some longs right here. I'm not, we're not close to my stop losses yet, so I'm just kind of holding on and waiting for another opportunity. I told you guys I was going to buy if another dip came along. I probably am going to be doing that again, maybe today or tomorrow. I'll wait and see how far this goes down, but overall, we're kind of around $67,000 right now. We're at the same price we were last Monday, or we were the price before the Monday before that, or even the Monday all the way. Oh, was this? No, where's that at? Yeah, the Monday all the way back over there from March 4th. So we've pretty much been going sideways for a month, and I don't necessarily like that. I would have preferred if we continued to kind of grind higher lows, higher highs. We've stopped kind of doing these higher highs here, which is a little bit of just annoyance. It almost makes me feel like everybody's basically waiting for a larger move to happen post CPI data on April 10th. Remember over here, April 10th, where this line is? April 11th, right next door to it. That's going to be more where we see PPI and CPI data coming out, and I wonder if we're going to be waiting for a large move until then. So because of this move officially happening now after we broke down, I know we talked about this a while ago, but still important. Now we kind of have to worry about this trend line here. Maybe even that's a better opportunity. We're going to have to wait for a larger consolidation, then a breakout. And that might take another week or two, you know? Right now, I think the majority of you guys aren't really focused on the next breakout. Maybe most of you guys are probably thinking of, oh no, are we actually going to break down here? Are we actually going to have something of a larger move down below this support level here of around 61,000? Or are we going to like consolidate for a while and go higher? You guys will know that probably by the end of tomorrow, the day after, maybe by the end of Wednesday. So that'd be Thursday. Sorry, Wednesday's day candle, so that's Thursday, the actual day. You guys will know that if we find some support here off the 50 and manage to bounce, or if we start to crash down below the 50, then you know there's probably a little bit more of a bearish move happening where potentially we can start coming back down below $61,000, $62,000, and things start getting a little bit worse until we start heading back down here to $55,000, $53,000. Okay, so that's kind of the scenario here. There you go. At this point, don't be completely concerned about worrying about all this stuff right here. We just have to focus on holding support here and waiting for Bitcoin to make that next move. I was over here earlier looking at Arkham, well, this morning at least. And I want to give you guys a quick update here. I know it's hard to see, so I'm going to pull this out like I normally do. 150%, there we go. So Grayscale as always sold off a few hundred Bitcoin here. Nothing major, but they did sell some off here. Afterwards, we saw Fidelity. Nothing happening here. Nothing at all. Fidelity Custody. Nothing happening. Are these real things? Basically an unch day, not really much moving around. BlackRock. BlackRock only bought 144 Bitcoin today, so it seems like investors are trying to buy up this dip. And that's where that hidden level of support would be. It wouldn't necessarily be a technical level, although it would still be from a technical perspective, 61,000. That volume is most likely going to come from the ETFs here if we can get more volume coming in from Wall Street, so to speak. ARK Invest, they bought a little bit today, sold a little bit today, but looks like they bought more than they sold, but not by much. And the last one I wanted to look at is VanEck. Yeah, VanEck is still buying Bitcoin every single day here. They are really making some gains here because they lowered their fees, and it seems to be helping them out quite a bit. All right, there we go. Haven't heard any big news here so far over the day that could really justify this. What I think is going on here, like we talked about a little bit before, was the dollar index, and how that breaking out has definitely not been a good move. That is the NASDAQ. There's the dollar index. Remember we were talking about this, how we didn't want to break out, then it broke out. Then we didn't want to say, hey, we don't want to break it here. Because if it's going to be a double top, that could be good news. But if we break out here, then all of a sudden we're looking at back to 106, 107 levels. This might be another week or two of Bitcoin consolidating while this kind of figures itself out. Next level of resistance for the dollar index is all the way up here around 106.024. Post that, we start getting back up here to 107. So I am curious to see if we actually do make that move. I didn't hear, well, all I watch is YouTube videos for the most part of CNBC Today. But I didn't hear many people talking about this as far as the dollar index. Because this is a breakout, and usually these breakouts aren't necessarily the best things that are happening to the market. I was paying attention to the Dow Jones today. You know, pretty much a lot of sideways action over the past few weeks, kind of gliding up a little bit. SPY going up a lot more, facing a Fibonacci level like we talked about before. You can see this on the scheme of things here. Just running up against into a level of a Fibonacci level on a Gann box, excuse me. Then over here, NASDAQ, of course, this one's going higher just because of what we have with NVIDIA here, possibly looking for another breakout. So once the stock market starts gearing up again, that should also bolster Bitcoin here just a tad. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, let's go back over here to Ethereum. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, was not able to break out of this period of consolidation. And you can see that even though it managed to get squeezed up here, which was kind of nice to see, things were kind of aligning for Bitcoin to have that larger move off of the Easter pop, you may say. But we got slammed back down. Now there's going to be a death cross with Ethereum, and we haven't had a death cross on Ethereum all the way since over here, what, February? Didn't end up being that bad, so hopefully we can have some good moves here, but that is not a good sign there for Ethereum. Solana also had a little bit of a pop there, also breaking back down right now and below the 20-day moving average here. So you're seeing some moves hinting towards more consolidation, less just ramping up here. Even things like Dogecoin here. I remember we talked about this a little bit ago as far as why do you want to buy up here? Why do you not want to buy up here? I think the thing was if you're looking to hold for a long time, you can, but if you're day trading or swing trading, probably not the best place to go long. Bonk. Bonk rejected off Fibonacci's. WIF is coming back down after that beautiful breakout that lasted for a few days. You're seeing the same type of story here happening a lot. Ajax is coming back down after again making another cycle high, I think, or close to a cycle high. PHA continues to come down. NMR continues to come down. World token is kind of going sideways for the longest time here, but still, overall, you can see it's coming down over the last few days. Even things like Ocean after that news, that was good news, still causing the market to come down just a tad. So right now, actually, for now, let's get rid of that red line and let's add on another one, going to that next level of support that we really have to worry about, which is currently around 62,260 here, in case you guys want to add that onto your charts as well. Let me make this line white. No, that's probably not the best color. Let's go yellow. There you go. Add a 15-minute chart, and you could already see right now, we've already cooled off a tad. That's mostly because of the size of the drop we just had. How far did Bitcoin go over the last couple hours? Fell down about 4.6% or 3,000 bucks. We've been in these situations before here, if you guys recall, but I know every time we're part of it again, it always kind of feels like it's something new and it's smacking us in the face. There you go. Most things are down about 5 to 6%. I'm sure there's some things that are down a lot more. Nothing that's really up right now. This will update here in a second besides the stable coins, but looks like Core is up a little bit today. Tau is up a little bit today. They're not doing the best. Well, this one actually, Core is doing very, very good. Tau was not doing great this week to start off with. BGB is up a little bit and Lord's going down a lot. CFX, ALX, a lot of this type of stuff. Pepe is down a whopping 14%. Same with Litecoin. What did Litecoin do to deserve getting hit that hard? Or did it try to pump up yesterday like everything else and just had a better pump? So it's getting a little bit of a better dump. Let's see if I can find Litecoin here very fast. There it is. No, I guess, no. Maybe this has to just be updated here for Litecoin. Down 13% last 24 hours. Maybe it is. Just doesn't look that much. 13, yeah, it could be, I guess, if it goes off to, oh, it might be going after the wick up here by the time it was happening yesterday. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's kind of the gist of what's going on right now. I'm still going to be accumulating some positions here, but now that Bitcoin looks like it wants to come down a little bit more here, I might just hold off for maybe a day or two and just do some small dollar cost averages, but maybe do some larger buy-ins here if things kind of work out to our favor. I really just would, personally, I'd rather see us kind of go up and then have to deal with inflation. It seems like we're not going to be going up until we have a clear lane for inflation data coming here. And they buyed for a number of shorts get liquidated. Oh, I bet after this move, they're probably going to try to close all those positions. See. It's April Fool's joke the whales are playing on us? Yeah. Well, right now, guys, we're definitely going back into more of a bearish mode. We've just officially had the breakdown here. Oh, God. Let me lock this in very fast. Actually, let me lock it in here. Let's hit that lock. There you go. You can see we've just started a breakdown here. It doesn't mean we're falling off a cliff and stuff like that, but it does definitely mean that we're most likely going to consolidate for a while here. And then perhaps after we're done consolidating, we're either going to fall down even more or we're going to bounce back up. Right now, it doesn't look terrible. The one thing I was really just upset about, I was telling you guys I was going to be really happy and all full force to go if Bitcoin was just able to have the MACD finally turn green. We never got the MACD to turn green, and I was really hoping it was going to be over here Sunday. I was looking, okay, maybe if we pop up again towards $72,000, $73,000, I was going to get much more optimistic and start buying up more Bitcoin, but it just never was able to happen. And now all of a sudden, the stochastic, everything is coming back down here, RSI. definitely just more of a bearish outlook here for the short term. There we are. Let me actually poke this back up here a little bit more. Weekly chart, stochastic is bearish, RSI is bearish. The MACD on the weekly chart is still bullish here. Overall, it kind of feels like we're flagging here, you know, nothing crazy about it, but this flagging might take a couple more weeks here going into some of the dead like we talked about with that inflation. So keep an eye on all of this, but I'm not necessarily buying right here. Maybe if you guys want to do some day trading, that might be acceptable. But for me, I'm definitely taking it easy here until I see more, until I see this calm down a little bit. I've been rushing back from Best Buy here because my Ethernet cord broke, like I told you guys earlier. And I just didn't have a chance to actually trade any of this stuff down. Excuse me. Do I think they selling right now before the Bitcoin halving? I don't think that's necessarily it. I think it's more to do with inflation and the dollar index continuing to break out. But I would say that there are still people taking their profits here after that nice run that Bitcoin's had over the past few months. It also seems like inflows to Bitcoin, the ETFs aren't buying up as much Bitcoin right now because there's been less money flowing in from Wall Street, because of course you usually get a big demand. We pretty much had, you could think of it as a demand shock from all of these people coming over from Wall Street to buy at Bitcoin, and then them pumping it up a little bit, you know, back from like the 50s up to the 70s or something like that. Now, after the halving, that's when we're going to have the supply shock side of things, where people are still going to want to buy a lot of Bitcoin. There's just not going to be enough of it out there, and that may lead to some, what would you want to call it? Losing my train of thought here, guys. But you get the point I'm trying to make. It can lead to a lot of discomfort and such. And hey, Shannon, I know it's very, very weird how that works out. Let's see. Why do I expect alts to run up now? I don't expect alts to run up now. No, that's not what I said. I said, what do you call it? Dude, if I say that Bitcoin's heading back down for more consolidation, that means everything's heading back down for more consolidation. I think I said it on Saturday's video. Sorry, I have to always recall the last thing I told you guys because I talked to you guys so much that if I skip a day like I did Sunday with hanging out with my family for Easter holiday, I always forget exactly the last thing I told you. But anyway, if you guys watch the video, I know YouTube doesn't necessarily promote it as much as my stream. I completely understand that. Maybe I'll have it be a premiere or something so people see it a little bit more. Maybe I'll just have it be a premiere every now and again. But anyway, I was telling you guys that altcoins didn't look as good as Bitcoin. Because, you know, Bitcoin was popping off, altcoins weren't necessarily doing too much. Right now, altcoins, like you see Bitcoin's kind of falling off a little bit here on the 4-hour chart, but you kind of see how we're pretty much going sideways here. Even with Ethereum, you can see how it's not nearly as high as Bitcoin is. You see it breaking down here off of this trend a while ago, coming back down here to the next levels of support. And if you go down here to anything like WIF, right? Nice breakout, but then we have that breakdown. A lot of stuff right now is going back into consolidation mode, regardless if it broke out last week or if it's something more like Ape Token, which didn't do really much at all. You can see a lot of stuff coming down here bit by bit. I believe my Fairdesk trades are probably back down here, maybe even a couple $100 because we added more last Thursday. And I think Thursday the market wasn't really doing anything, so they might have went up for a little bit, but now they're probably mostly down here. There we go. Now, why did it get rid of? There we go. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I always want to make sure I have that. But right now, we've just started to break down here, so this is typically not where you're going to want to buy, unless you're looking at a level of support like right here, trying to hold around 66,775. That's an option here. You just know it's going to lead to more consolidation, right? Yeah, go to the 5-minute chart, kind of watch to see how this is playing out. I don't know, maybe the 15-minute chart. The 5-minute chart isn't giving you enough data. It looks all kind of scrunched up. Do I think we're going to get an alt season right now? No, usually altcoin season happens after the halving. This is not an altcoin season right now. What do you think about Link? Right now, if it's anything like Bitcoin, it'll probably keep on coming down here unless the whales come in to save it. From a technical perspective, I can show you, let's see. it's trying to hold a level of support. It didn't really do a great job of it, but it's trying to. Well, this actually already had a breakdown way over here, and it's been coming down ever since, hasn't it? Let's see, 15-minute chart. 15-minute is bearish. The 1 hour is just turning bearish. The 2 hours bearish. The 4 hours bearish, and the daily chart is just turning bearish here. So it might be okay for a day trade, but on the longer term here, I'd be careful with it. You know, all it takes is a stop loss down here though to make the trade. But just remember to have your target prices locked in and your stop losses locked in, just so you know how much money you're going to make or lose. Because at this point, you're probably not aiming for back up here on 1842 unless you're planning to hold for a few days. You're probably just aiming for up here closer to 1805 or something like that for a nice day trade with some leverage. There you go. Only Bitcoin managed to hold that trend line as well. Thoughts on Book of Meme? I'm still holding it for the long term here. Still holding bomb for long term. Let's see it here. Hold on, let me get rid of this guy. NASM, yeah, I'd probably say Bitcoin does consolidate a little bit longer here. The chance for Bitcoin to go high, if you look at this 15 minutes, let's go to 4 hour chart. This cigar is a cheap cigar, but I wish it wasn't. Alright, there we go. Alright, so basically the chance for Bitcoin to go higher was right here. We were going to try to break out and then go higher. That's typically the type of stuff you see back in bull markets. Maybe if I go back over here to 2021, I can show it to you a little bit easier. Right? Usually we have these volatile times. We consolidate for a while, and then we eventually keep pumping up and higher and higher and higher. You might even think about it something like this, where we've gone up a lot, we're starting to consolidate, we've taken a drop, we've come back up, and now we're taking another drop. We're hoping that we don't fall back down below to that new low, which currently is for us $61,000, and then eventually we can kind of outlast it to go higher here. The catalyst that could really get us going, though, that's not until April 10th, and that's where I think a lot of people are waiting and watching patiently to see what happens next. Again, that's 10 days away. That's going to be rough to wait that long. Until then, your main objective here, if you're trying to remain kind of really bullish on Bitcoin, is to see what happens here if we're able to hold above this level of support, kind of around 60,840. But in theory, that's not really the support you really care about. You really just want to see us do a higher low here and then break out there. Since we failed our first attempt at the breakout, you can see that clear wall right there. Now that we've broken down, now that we failed that breakout, now we have to work a little bit harder here to see if we can have another one. Now, this just means until Thursday or Friday, but it is Monday, which means it may take 2 or 3 more days. If things do get a little bit more bearish here and we have some bad news or something, maybe even we start coming back down and we have another big breakdown below 60,000. At this point, though, I don't think there's any big news to suggest that would happen here. You know, a lot of times we see these wicks towards the beginning of a larger month, and we just had a really crazy month and quarter here for Bitcoin. But let me see if I can pull it up over here. What is that? Yeah, this is the last time we had a death cross between the 50 and the 200. You saw we came down for a little bit after the Bitcoin halving, and then from there we started to rally back up and go higher. That might be the case this time, but I'm hoping this doesn't lead to something larger. But again, it is only a 4-hour chart. My larger concern, I would say, is to see what happens here with this death cross. Again, last death cross didn't really do squat, but there's usually we usually don't want to stay this sideways for that period of time. And let me go over here to the 5-minute chart. It looks like something's going on here. You can see all the trades flooding in here as people try to push Bitcoin back down a little bit. We'll have a short-term test here to see if we can actually hold this support level. And it just looks so weird to have it like this because of these longer candles, but that's about as good as I can do like that. Yeah, maybe that looks a little more proportional. Anyway, Walter, oh, good thing Michael's here. What do you call it? I know, I'm a little bit shocked about this too. I was hoping we might actually break above 72, 73, and it just never came true. So now I'm basically watching my positions go down and hoping for the reversal to happen sometime later on this week. But I'm looking at different moves here right now. You know, Bitcoin's down 4%. A lot of stuff is on 4 or 5%. A few things are down more, but rare, like NMR is down 5%, Jasmy's down 5%, Ocean's down 5%, GRT, you know. Ooh. Well, it's going to be fun to dollar cost average this week, that's going to be sure. Oh, and hey, Trev, happy to see you, my man. Do I ever convert my alts to Bitcoin on dips like this? No, I usually just hold everything as is. Most of my trades are done through leverage, not through spot, so it doesn't really make much sense for me to pay the fees to sell and buy, you know? I usually just hold, and it's a long-term trade. When I do my long-term investments like this, or not even long-term, what are we doing? It's calling, I guess, it's just a normal swing trade, where we're going to be holding for 3 to 4 months. Typically, I just buy every Thursday. Doesn't matter what the market is doing. I just buy, and then from there, I just kind of wait for the market to turn back around, and then we're good. You know, we did it once again, you know, towards the end of last year, December, January, February. That one worked okay. Now this one from like, you know, March, April, June, July, we're kind of hoping that in June, July, we're like at least $90,000, $100,000 and looking for some nice profit here. I think let me see. Give me a second here if it's going to let me. No, not yet. Okay. I told you guys I was getting a couple new sponsors here, so I should have some money. I can move some money into their accounts to start trading with it, so we can open up another dollar cost averaging one if people want to. I know I'm probably going to do one with mostly AI tokens and mostly meme tokens and kind of see where that takes us. Not as much money, but low leverage, and it should maybe a couple $1,000s low leverage, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. That's not my photo. I sold Chaz's profile photo. There you go. I've been avoiding the leverage trades on Bitcoin and the regular coins because the market felt fishy after the pump yesterday. Had a crack at Sol meme coins for the first time, turned 3 into 12. Oh, there you go. That's not bad. 3 sold into 12 is a good profit right there. And hey, Red Earth, happy to see you back, man. There you go. I know, for most people, this is going to be kind of a scary thing. I completely understand it. Right now, we're basically just holding on. We've been through this too many times over the past few weeks, I feel. Since the past, what, month? Yeah, past month. I don't know, I think I stream too much, so I get kind of numb to these larger moves that are happening. But things are overall still doing okay. If you think about it, remember, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still at $66,000. Right now, it looks like we're trying to get pushed back down here even more. We'll see if the bears have that much pressure on top of it. But I'm sitting on my hands right now. I have long positions open. I don't have shorts. I'm basically just going to wait this out. And hey, Catherine, just make sure you have that stop loss set and that target price set. One of the best things about using those leverage trades is you can have the stop loss above your buying price. So no matter what, you know you're walking away with a profit, which always helps out too. And hey, Jamrock, this one's going to be, I believe, on Blowfin. I think Bitmart also said they wanted to work with me, but I haven't heard from them just yet, so I'll let you know. Bitmart's been more of an asshole to work with as far as I'm concerned. They haven't paid me yet, so I can talk pretty frank. Their exchange is fine. Their support is fine. It's just the person I'm individually working with. Freaking annoying. There we go. I'll live dip since my plan is to just hold for a while. I mean, it's been pretty nice, right? Like here, hold on. Let's go to this. There you go. Add my head right here. I don't want to look like I'm all smoking on fire. All right, there we go. Just as a reminder here. Oh, actually, let me move my head up here. Yeah, just for now. You know, I think people sometimes forget about these. Oh, did I mess up something? I did. There you go. I think people mess up some of the 30 day, 60 day, 90 day things. You know, most things on here, if you just hold for a few months, you're usually pretty gold in a bull market. You can see over here, Bitcoin's still 66% or 60% up in the last 60 to 90 days. You know, Ethereum is green, BNB is green, you know. The stable coin isn't looking so hot as far as growth, but I think that's okay. Dogecoin's still at number 8, up quite a bit. What isn't moving? Actually, that's a good question. What hasn't been moving for the last quarter? Arbitrum's been in a real rut here in the last 60 days. You can see that one right there. It's up 9-10% last 90 days, but last 60 days, it's pretty much in a rut. Injective is down. Tia is down a little bit here. Lido DAO is down. Monero is down. Monero's been coming down for a while. I don't know what's going on with Monero right now at all, guys. Do you guys know? It's definitely been just right across the board. But I keep scrolling. Jupiter's down a little bit. You know, the majority of tokens that you guys hold on here, if you just manage to hold for a little bit, you guys are usually pretty happy with the results. I know not everything is green here, that's for sure. But, you know, this is the second 100. Actually, instead of going like this and glitching out, let me just, there you go. You guys can see there's some red in here, but majority of it's pretty green, right? See a lot of green, a little bit of red. So there's definitely a reason to be dollar cost averaging into this market, and that's kind of why I'm buying up the dips. I'm doing the stuff I am. It just makes it a little bit easier. There you go, waves, all this other type of stuff. So yeah, we're still going to keep on dollar cost averaging. We're still going to keep on buying here. If you guys have stop losses that got hit, don't worry about it. It could have been a lot worse. If you guys didn't have those stop losses, maybe some of your accounts got liquidated. That's not the end of the world here. I would just say that you guys need to focus on a few things now that Bitcoin is, oh Jesus, let me back down here. There we go. Now that Bitcoin's starting to break down from here, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. There's two ways this can play out typically. I would say at this point, we're probably going to come closer to maybe 62,000 unless something really crazy happens when we start popping off, which is more of whale activity than your typical standard. You know, we're either going to come down. Oh, did I lock this? I did lock this. Now that we've broken down, let's get rid of that. We're either going to come back down towards 61,000, if you will, try to bounce off of that, have a double bottom and consolidate and break out later on. Or we're going to try to do just a pennant here and flag where we're going to make another low over here, then bounce off. And that creates a whole new trend line here for a breakout that happens again, sometimes Thursday or Friday. Those are the two bullish options. The bearish one, of course, is we keep on coming back down, we break down, then we're looking at something of a longer term channel down where we have to wait for that breakout, maybe post halving. Something looks more like this, where Bitcoin comes back down maybe to 59,000, something like that. That's kind of the more bearish one I see happening right now. This is still a bull market. We still have the halving coming up. If this is post halving or in this situation, a little bit of a different scenario you might expect. But right now we're still in a pretty bullish move. We've been here quite a few times before where things are just kind of going sideways for a while and everything feels pessimistic and gloomy. I stream daily, so I've been around for all these times, even back over here back last summer. So again, I'm not too concerned about what we're seeing right now. It's mostly just how long is it going to take for us to finally move up. We have another opportunity, I would say, coming up by Thursday or Friday. But this next few days, I'm pretty much just using as an opportunity to consolidate a little bit more on my positions, get a little bit more of what I'm looking for here, and then just keep an eye to see what's happening on the dollar index as well. That dollar index, and I know I harp on this or I talk about this a little bit too much, but when we started to break out above this, well, I guess I did rant about it quite a bit, yeah. The fact that we were breaking out really did not make me happy. Since we are making a new high, we haven't been a high compared over here. We haven't been at these levels all the way since November of last year. Things may get a little bit hotter here until April. And I think the two dates that you guys really have to focus on, they're going to be, again, April 10th is inflation CPI data. April 11th, the day after, is going to be PPI data. Both of those data points are going to be coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's New York time, Florida time, Delaware time, Massachusetts time. Okay, East Coast time. And then maybe after that, we're probably going to have a small jobs report. I don't think that's going to be crazy. But really, it's going to be that information that's going to really bolster people up here, get them in a really good move or get them in a really bad move. And I think the next thing here is probably going to be the next FOMC meeting, which isn't going to be crazy important because I don't think they're going to be talking about rate cuts. But let's see. April, May, April 30th. Then we have June 11th to 12th. So that's most likely going to be right over here, June 11th to 12th. That's where we have rate cuts most likely priced into the market at this point. But April, May, they don't cut rates during those times. They're usually just having a meeting and a questionnaire, but they don't usually cut rates at that time. If they do, there's something crazy going on, but I don't think we're looking at anything crazy happening right now. There you go. Let's keep track, because you definitely see a lot of activity happening right now as far as Bitcoin's concerned. And let me also just put another support level here, just so we can kind of keep track of where that support level that we want to hold on to is. There you go. You think this is good? We're finally starting to see funding rates come back down. Guess longs got wiped out. Oh yeah, a lot of longs got. If you had a too high of a leverage, your stop loss got hit, you were out, or your position got liquidated if you were stuck in an isolated leverage trade. This is the end of the 4 hour that may trigger something. It might be a little bit more of a wick here. Basically, go to the 15-minute chart. After this drop, you want to see it start to bounce back around the 15, or excuse me, the 20 moving average. That usually means we're consolidating just enough for bulls to try to take back control. You saw it right here, but this was after a much smaller dip, not nearly as the same type of dip here. Let me go back in time a little bit here to something that we had larger, like this. Again, a little bit more of a more violent dip, kind of an awkward situation here, but a violent dip. We went sideways for a while. Bulls took back control after the 20 here, and then we started to kind of grind back up. It doesn't mean we're grinding back up and going to all-time highs or anything like that. It typically just means, wow, we came down a lot, came back above it, and eventually we kept on coming back up here. Kind of shows that everything's slowing down. Sometimes it's not as clean though as you buy here and it goes up. So that's where you guys have to be a little bit more cautious. But maybe you might just be looking for a golden, a good buy signal from the 1 hour charts. So perhaps once the MACD, the stochastic, and the RSI also get back into being a little more bullish here, maybe even with the change of character, that might be good. If we go over here, do I have this set up like this? Maybe I do for the Smart Money Concepts one. There you go. This is the hour chart one. And you can see a little bit of the red here, the green, and the way we have this set up here for some day trades and whatnot. But maybe once that starts to turn back green a little bit, that gives us a little bit more hope. The 15 I don't think is going to be as realistic. It worked okay. It did work okay over here. Not the best. These ones weren't nearly as good for shorting and stuff. We're just, yeah, kind of more mixed, I would say. Yeah, not terrible, you know, just a little bit more mixed. But maybe the 15 on the 1 hour, or maybe you can even toss in the half an hour. I don't have the half an hour on my charts, but I can add it right there. Let's see what happened here. Not good enough for buying here. I mean, that one worked out, that one worked out, that one didn't, that one didn't, that one did, that one did. For a couple hours it did, for a few hours it did. No, yes, kind of yes. Yeah, okay, so yeah, maybe the 30 hour if you want to be sneaky with it. Be careful of the bearish signals though, those might not always be as accurate, because again, you see some of those longer term trend ones like the weekly chart still being green here. But those may be some trading signals that you guys want to use. Right now, if you go over here to like maybe a 4 hour chart, you'll see Bitcoin's only been really bearish here since 1 a.m. in the morning, so really early my time. Worked out okay, yeah. Maybe get a little more bearish once the 4 hours starts to turn back up here, but again, we're most likely gonna have to come back down and so forth. Let's go back over here to the 15. No, oh, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. And back over to the 5. That way we can see if we're actually gonna be able to hold on and do a dip and a rip, or if we're really just gonna be able to fall all the way back down here. We're at a crucial point where Bitcoin's gonna have to make its move here in the next like 5-10 minutes to whether or not we're going to cool off for quite a bit of time, or if we really want to get pushed back down. But for the rest of the day, we should be fairly good for the drop here for the next, what, 2-3 hours. Even if we take another leg down, it shouldn't be like we're going down like, you know, hour after hour after hour. We're pretty much going to have to hit a pretty decent cool off period here, next couple hours at least. So we'll have to wait and see if this is going to be the end of it, or if we're going to have to go down one more leg. Hey Plankton, right now the support for Bitcoin is around $61,000. If you're looking for that like big support level, you just don't want to break down below. Those moving averages on the half-hour chart looking rough. Yeah, I don't use the half-an-hour chart all too much, but I always like that system with the change of characters mixed up with the oscillators. It usually works pretty well. Now, again, there are some issues with it. Like I think if you go over here to the daily chart, it hasn't told you to short or anything crazy like that. Is it still messed up? No, it's not. Okay. It hasn't told me to short anything like that, even though the oscillators have been bearish, but it hasn't given me a real good reason to be buying up, if you ask me. Again, remember how I told you guys I was really more excited about doing this day trade than trying to do these longs over here, because I'm babying myself into these longs? That's because, again, not everything is in alignment here, and I kept waiting, and I kept waiting, and I kept waiting for the strategy to work its way out, and it just didn't actually occur, or didn't actually happen, you know. But on the 4-hour chart here, right, of course everything's been bearish here since this morning. We might be able to find some support here by tonight, I'm thinking, and then we have an opportunity again to keep on going back up here to maybe just go sideways again. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but I don't like this. Well, we're not in this chart for too long, so let me just go back over here. There you go. Greed is good. Oh, there's plenty of greed out in the market right now. The major options on OX and Ether make up 25% or more of the fluctuations. Someone buys 5 million in Pepe and boom, the chart goes out of the window. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's a new game. Yeah, there's just a lot more money. What the heck is going on right now? Why is the cigar burning this way? I got an Olivia cigar, and it's like my first Olivia cigar in a while to not be properly done, so it's kind of annoying. You can see that right there. Let's just kind of push that off here. I have so much fuel in this thing, and I don't want to use my matches for my other cigar. Next up, I got myself a My Father. There we go. I'm back to having the house all to myself with Loki, so smoking a little bit more now. Hey Chris, TA is all good and fine until a massive whale clicks buy or sell. That is the exact reason that you guys have stop losses in your charts. Helps you out a lot there. And hey Matt, oh yeah, if you guys zoom out, Bitcoin still looks very, very, very bullish. Right now we are zoomed in on a 5-minute chart where everything looks just a lot more drastic and people are kind of freaking out a little bit more. But I typically think that the people freaking out are those who are really heavy on day trading and swing trading. And they're just looking like, oh, I bought Bitcoin off of the breakout. And then, because of that, I want to see if my position is going to go down more, if it's going to go higher. They just want to have a little bit of a short-term update about what's going on here. And that's kind of what I do every now and again here. Normally, we're not looking at massive drops in Bitcoin in a bull market, but, nevertheless, here we are. Would hate to sell only to want to get back in. That's usually what everybody does during a bull market. They usually sell on the first sign of a dip and they have to be forced back in. But again, that's what keeps bull markets going up. Back over here to the daily chart, back up a little bit more. I've been streaming for a few years, but this is back in 2020. Bitcoin crashed 17%, just a few days. Then all of a sudden it came back up a little bit. People were like, should I buy? Should I buy? They probably didn't even start buying up until here. So they sold down here, rebought. They have less crypto, but at least it keeps on pumping Bitcoin up higher and higher. Then again, they sell right here, they buy back in, and it keeps on pushing up Bitcoin over and over again. It's an interesting way to trade, but it usually doesn't mean you make a lot of money. And now let's go over to the weekly chart just so we can kind of see what's going on again. Some consolidation around the all-time highs. waiting to have a clear pop off here. But right now we're definitely consolidating and not going up. Not necessarily going down either, but it's just sideways action. We're at the same level we were just a few weeks ago. Same level we were March 4th. So we've pretty much been here for about a month. Now, we've been in places for a month before. It's just that it's always a pain while we're here because the volatility makes people think that, you know, what happens if we go here? What happens if we go here? What happens if we go back down here? What happens if we go here? That type of stuff happens because we're all trained to be like, what happens if it goes here? Oh, it finally went there. Oh, it went there, you know. We're all trained to think that everything's coming back down because we're all just terrified of losing the money. Making money is easy in some respects because all you gotta do is hold. But some people just can't hold because of that butterfly in the stomach feeling, if you will. Which is fine. I've had it before. You know, again, why I'm not buying right now, why I'm holding and waiting for Bitcoin to most likely come back down a little bit more. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still going to be buying up Bitcoin at these prices. And hey, ST, I haven't heard any news. Let me actually go over here, just make sure Coinbase is okay. I feel obligated to do this now. Every now and then. Coinbase status is still good to go. That's good to see here. All right, let me go back over here so you guys can watch this while I pull up X. I just want to see if anything's going on with on X as far as big news or anything like that. Let's see. Oh, there's Bitcoin. Okay. Here we go. And if something big is happening with Bitcoin, I'll see the flashes on the screen over there, and then I'll kind of hop back over. Let's see. Dan says, just like last cycle, we're headed into Bitcoin halving and parabolic altcoin season. Cardano is an underdog. Oh, okay. So he's talking about ADA. Bitcoin well enough sit on this one. Seriously, who can be bearish? You know, people find their ways. People always find their ways here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can actually see what's going on here, though. That's a little bit better here. Just showing a chart, you know, all-time high is breaking. Everything's nice and dandy. Oh, I guess this guy didn't end up getting to stream here. I mean, it's only been 3 minutes. Maybe. Japan officially recognized Bitcoin as legitimate property on this day, 2017. Bears getting wrecked in the short term while holders are preparing for 75K. Now, bears are having a good time right now. They're probably looking to sell some of their shorts, of course, or cover some of their shorts. Bitcoin's the biggest scam in history. Ah, geez. There's always a couple. Just one, a couple. Well, it's tonight. Time to steal from the market makers. You will make 5% a day doing this. I wonder if he's trying to buy Bitcoin here. 66,667. Probably not a bad opportunity here if you want to do a day trade, but still, that's going to be rocky for most people out there because they're going to try to hold too long. Look at your crypto social media feeds right now. That's fear right now everywhere. Nowhere close to euphoria yet. Cycle still early. Let's see. Start of a super cycle. Oh, I don't think we had a super cycle there. I gotta always love the red charts. Not much here though. Bitcoin has arrived in the land of freedom. Is Bukele? No, this is what he called. That's El Salvador. Everyone is posting the 1 minute chart right now. Quick reminder to zoom out. That's why we kept on zooming out. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, spooky. Anything else? Who pressed the wrong button? Yeah, it doesn't seem like much else is going on here. There's not like any news that's having this happen. It just seems like we actually had a breakdown. That breakdown is extending here. And usually in these circumstances, there's a lot of leveraged up people. You know? So those levered up people are typically the ones losing right now. If you're just a holder, you're not really concerned. But if you're levered up like 50x leverage or something like that, this is where the pain is coming in for most of those people. Oh, Luda. Right now our support is around $61,000, a little bit below that. Let's see, Dalai Lama invalidated, maybe down to 63, but that's okay. Oh yeah, I just don't want to head back down below 60,000, really. That's my thing here. Because again, in the scheme of things, we're just consolidating, we're just going sideways, but we're having a pretty violent move here on the 4-hour chart. But it's not like we didn't have violent moves over the past few weeks here. I mean, remember this, guys? That was freaking terrifying. I think this was Coinbase, though. Coinbase has a way of messing with us. Wait. Too often. There we are. Right now, all I'm seeing is Bitcoin try to consolidate, move up higher. Let's kind of go down the list here on the 15-minute chart and just see what we can find. Well, let's go to the hour chart. So Ethereum also had a breakdown here on multiple levels. We can get rid of some of these Fibonacci levels and stuff right here just for now. There you go, add a fresh one. There you are. Well, these didn't really do much good at all. A little bit there, a little bit there. Trying to do it here, but not ultimately too hot. But you can see Ethereum is also trying to have a larger breakout come a few days from now. Let's forget about the magnet for now, but let's just add the 2 points here. Because now all of a sudden we have more downtrends here, we have more opportunities for breakouts, but now we're just trying to find our floor to see if we do find a floor here, that's the breakout. And usually the floor doesn't come from retail right now, it comes from all those traders out there buying up the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and that's forcing the ETFs themselves to go buy the underlying asset, Bitcoin. And right now, there's not really a lot of buying going on from the ETF market. I would say there's some selling from Grayscale. Everyone else is just kind of slightly buying, but all kind of neutralizes each other. So Ethereum here still in a downtrend, waiting for that breakout there. Solana here definitely just started to, well, we had this breakout here, which was kind of nice to trade. You can see how it went up higher, but oh, this isn't really set to this type of day, but you guys can see something like that. There we are. Yeah, it just started to break down here a little bit earlier. Completely actually just broke down. Now we're still moving down. Dogecoin similar, breaking down here, also a downtrend though. So you're seeing a bunch of downtrends even though we had a nice little breakout. Some things went to new cycle highs, like Dogecoin really making a really solid move here. Like Dogecoin is still at the level it was a few weeks ago, so if you guys are waiting for like 20 cents, 18 cents, 19 cents, something like that, you were still pretty happy. Where was this at? Wasn't there another up higher though? Or is my, this is a 1 hour chart, we're not gonna find it here. Up higher? No. Okay, I'm too zoomed out. That's okay. These breakouts are pretty nice to see. Bonk, rejected, whiff, coming back down a little bit more. And also like Bitcoin's taking another slap here, so let's check that out very fast. Because altcoins are taking a slap here as well, as we're kind of looking at them one by one. There you go. Let's take down the stochastic just so we have the RSI and the MACD. That way it just looks a little bit better, so everything's not so clustered here. There we are. All right. Most things are down about 5 to 7% right now. The last 24 hours, though, I think there's more pain. We can kind of compound that by 2, so a lot of things are down 14 to 15% right now. Loki wants to say hello. Loki, hello. Up. There you go. That way you guys can say hi to him. Let me put my cigar down so he doesn't get no second smoke. Ooh, you sugar boy. Yes, you good boy. I don't have treats, so I'm not nearly as much fun as normal to him. There we go. He'll get treats a little bit later on. Alright. There we are. Why do I keep on buying ridiculous amounts of Miro? Because it's a low market cap meme token that is slowly getting pumped up by more and more influencers. That's why I bought it in the first place. I told you guys that's the only reason. I really bought it though. Let's see, $100 million outflow data. Oh, there you go. So that's why today was also probably not as good here. And A-Striker, look, he says hello. He's over here just staring at me, but I literally have no treats. I have these like little crumbs and stuff. There you go, little crumb. He has these longer treat bars in my one of my secondary rooms over there. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Loki. I know, but you gotta relax. Normally, he's been sitting on the sofa behind me watching the TV. You guys know that I usually will put up this TV, some type of 4K video playing or something like that. But every now and again when I'm working and not doing streaming, I'll put up dog videos or horse videos or farm videos, something like that. So he'll just sit down on the sofa right here, plop down, and he'll be like, time to scooch up in the blankets, because I got a little blanket up there for him. And he just starts to watch TV and relax, and then he takes a nap, and I'm like, okay, he's happy, I'm happy, I get to work in a little bit of peace here, and we're good to go. Right now he's below my feet, on my top of my feet, sleeping, or taking a nap all of a sudden. There we go. A big battle going on for support right now, and it's not over yet, but bears definitely have a little bit of an advantage. Bulls are definitely holding up quite well though. You see this right now? They're trying. They're trying not to break down below this, because that could lead to another full down. They're trying to make a higher low, and this higher low is very sketchy. Yeah, this is a better way to look at it. Kind of hard to show you because that drop was just so large here. And hey, Caesar, am I shorting? No, I missed out on the opportunity to short earlier when it was breaking down. I would have probably taken a smaller short here during the breakdown earlier, but that was, what time was that? Is that it? Our chart. Closer to over here, around like 68,000. Maybe from a time perspective. Yeah, closer to over here. You would have had to be scalping and watching this thing closely, because as soon as it broke down, that was it. It just started coming down pretty hard here. Or I guess you could have gone off of the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart like we were talking about earlier. But for those type of moves, you had to wait maybe about 8 to 12 hours before the move actually happened. Not a bad thing to do. It's just, you know, I don't like to usually wait that long for a day trade, especially if I'm not going to be at my desk for the majority of the day. Like, actually, let's go over here. Let's do this. 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Let's get rid of all the oscillators. Okay. Ethereum. Short-term bearish. Solana, same thing. Dogecoin just started. Bonk, been here for a minute. Whiff just started a few hours ago. Miro, been there for a minute. Baby Doge just started here. STMX coming down. Boom, still actually fine right now. Sheeb, same thing here. Pepe, ADA. So there was some signals here. Amp's been freaking sideways the entire time. I don't know what to say about Amp. It has its pumps. Ape token been bearish for a hot minute. Arbitrum bearish for a little bit. False bullish signal here. I wonder if the oscillators were good or not. They were okay. It might have been the daily ones that weren't that good. AXS. So yeah, you've had bearish signals, I guess, for the last like 16 hours, it looks like, for the average token out there. Some have been bearish for a little longer, but I think it really started to show up early this morning. So again, maybe around 15 to 18 hours ago. Yeah, somewhere around there. Engine token here, there. And all this is, for those of you guys that are wondering, if you guys want to copy that strategy of how to trade, if you guys go over to, is this one? I think it's here. I don't know if it's still ranked high though. If you guys go over to Smart Money, if you guys go over to YouTube, type Smart Money Concepts by Lux Algo. This is a free thing, I promise. If you go down here to this one, Master Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo in 10 minutes, or this one right here if you want a very long detailed tutorial, they both kind of give you the same thing here as far as how to set everything up. I would say watch this longer one if you want to understand everything about Smart Money Concepts. Watch this one if you want to learn some things about smart money concepts, but you really just want to learn the strategy behind it. That's usually what you're going to go for. The strategy, the underlying really nerdy facts about why you're buying. I like to watch both, but you guys can watch whatever. But this one's probably going to be for you guys that have shorter time frames, or you don't want to watch 30-minute long video. That right there, smart money concepts, Lux algo, and just click on this video right here. Watch the whole thing, otherwise you guys are not going to understand it. But if you guys do watch the whole thing, you guys will be fine. But if you guys don't watch it, you're going to be having so many questions, like, why doesn't this work? Because you didn't watch the entire video. And hey, Ethan, I'm just chilling right now. It's definitely not excited to see this drop off, but I guess now that we're having it, it's just another opportunity to buy up some more cryptocurrency here. Especially because it's just kind of a technical breakdown. There wasn't anything necessarily crazy about today that led to this larger move. If there was anything that kind of made me think, oh wow, this is a little bit more bearish than I wanted it to be, it was just the dollar index. That's the only thing we've been able to really talk about the last few days that really has an impact that we can kind of measure by day basis. Besides that, it's usually like that monthly CPI, that monthly PPI, that monthly PCE, or quarterly PCE, excuse me. And even that wasn't too bad. But you're going to see lots of people doing different things right now. Like right now, I'm sitting on my hands. I have longs from way back over here. Right? I got longs from over here. But right here, I'm still holding. My stop loss isn't until over here. So, patiently waiting for another opportunity to buy up some more here. Whether it's going to be coming in the next few minutes or it's going to take until tomorrow morning. I'll have to wait and see a few hours here, but this is definitely going to be a longer stream tonight for sure. I made sure to take Loki out to use the bathroom before I enter this stream. If we start to pump up more, then maybe that'll give me a reason to go to bed or something like that. But before that happens, we're basically on breakdown watch. And a multi-stacker, happy to see you. Dollar cost averaging is always a nice thing. New 4-hour candle in a minute. Let's see. 23 seconds. That's also breaking back down below the 200 here. We're also looking for a death cross. Yeah, I guess we had a drop last time during the death cross too. I'm curious to see what happens Wednesday. That's going to be a very important day for us here. But again, right now we're barely just holding on. You can see the exact moment the flood of cells try to come in here. You can see that little bit of a move that it actually does with Bitcoin. Yeah, they're still really trying to push this sucker down right now. There hasn't been enough of a pause for me to completely buy in and start doing day trading longs. We're getting close there, but we're not there just yet. Bitcoin's done about 4% so far today, 4.33% today. And hey Caesar, you got a long sitting right there ready at $63,000 with a 50x leverage. Oh boy, that's going to be a big one right there. We bounced off an anchor VWAP from 51k low. Good sign, but we did break anchor VWAP from 61, so yeah. Mixed signals is definitely what I would say we're right here. And I guess it can always drop down to a lower level than what you're thinking about. It can always do so. Right now, the support level is around $61,000. You're going to have to wait and see, probably closer to this Thursday, you probably have a better indication. Because right now, no matter what happens, the big volatile event that could either crush Bitcoin for the next month or something like that for April, basically, or that can get Bitcoin back on track to go to another all-time high this April, is going to be that CPI data coming out on the 10th of April, and then again that PPI on April 11th. And hey, Plankton, a lot of people panicking. It's cryptocurrency. Everybody panics. It's just what people do. Panic sellers is going to put the price to 63 or 62. Right now, with that breakdown, it definitely looks like we're going to be heading down day after day after day. It kind of just depends on those day traders who want to play it up for a little bit before that ultimate move down. Let's go to the 50-minute chart so we can see a little more data here. There we are. After this bull run, do you think Bitcoin will be around 100K in the bear market? No, I'd probably say that. You know, this isn't my. I don't know how much of a floor the ETFs are going to give us, but I would say it's realistic that Bitcoin comes back down to maybe $60,000, $70,000 easily, maybe even as far as $40,000, $30,000 if things start to get really crazy here. One of the things that might happen during this upcoming bull market, like we talked about before, this is I guess probably like a few weeks ago now, is a possible recession. The overall market is kind of in a weird spot because of a few things here that has mixed results with Bitcoin. You guys know that typically Bitcoin and the stock market, they kind of generally move in the same direction. Different volatility, of course, they generally move in the same direction here. Like Bitcoin's been going up over the last few months, the stock market's been going up for the past few months. However, Jerome Powell at the last FOMC meeting came out and pretty much said, we're going to allow inflation to go up as long as that means the economy is doing okay. Now, whether you guys think he's doing that for political reasons or just trying to keep the economy afloat, both are fine. You know, they're just reasons to him. They're fine to him. That's one thing. Okay, so he's willing to have the economy be good if it means inflation goes higher and higher and higher, up to a point. We don't know what that point is. He's kind of so dovish we didn't understand that, like where that line is. Now, when that inflation has been going up like it has, with no rate cuts or rate hikes, it's kind of staying higher for longer policy, I guess that's what you call it. What you see is you see the dollar index going higher and higher as well. Look at the weekly charts here. See this longer breakout that we're having at the moment? We're going up. That typically is not a good time for Bitcoin or assets overall. Now, again, last few weeks we've been having a little bit of a bad time. Everything's been kind of teetering a little bit, not necessarily going sky high, not necessarily crashing, just going sideways as well. You can see over here, February, you know, February is when we had the last little peak right here. We're pretty much still around those same times. NASDAQ's up a little bit here, but you can see it's not moving up like a crazy amount. It's kind of hitting a little bit of a wall. SPY here, I know this is a GAN box and stuff like that. SPY's been going up a little bit more. Nice to see. Maybe one of the few things here. Oil's getting higher, which means inflation's probably going to go higher, which will probably push up the dollar index even more. That's kind of a crazy thing right there. And of course, last few weeks, as far as Bitcoin's been concerned, it's just been going sideways. Again, Bitcoin is at $67,000 pretty much right now. I'm happy with Bitcoin at $67,000. I think that's great. But I know for day traders out there and swing traders, this has been rough to try to trade, just like it was rough to try to trade over here. I tried to go long right here, got stopped out. I had to catch back up over here as everything was turning back to green, and I was like, okay, there we go. Let's get this larger move cooking here. Nothing else really falling down quite a bit now. Everything else is pretty much stabilizing right now, just like Bitcoin. Hey, Walter, and XRP, of course, looking dumb. What is up with them? Just the loss it feels like. XRP is becoming a meme slowly. I mean, it's already been a meme for a while, but they need to really get this thing figured out. Otherwise, they're just going to become a meme for the rest of their existence. And that's not necessarily what you want to see from a company who wants to appear as legitimate as they want to appear, right? So give them time. I own some, but as far as trading, it definitely isn't the best thing to be trading right now. Usually that's like an AI token. Or maybe even even some meme coins out there, you know. But when I think about XRP, you know, you don't even have to go with XRP. You can go with a simple Ethereum Classic, a Matic, an Arbitrum, maybe even a Bitcoin Cash if it could ever come back down a decent amount to buy. Typically, those are things that you could be looking forward to more than XRP. Well, actually, those are things I look forward to more than XRP. You think in the springtime, summertime, crazy stuff's going to happen? Well, all we have to wait for, in theory, is a good inflation report coming out on April 10th, which is not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, if good inflation data comes out there, that'd be really good news. Afterwards, in June, that's when we could get our first rate cut. That would push the market up even higher and in a much faster way post-halving. So you could see this summer definitely be a larger move. And right now we're just stuck in a very ugly consolidation, waiting for everything to kind of get back into realignment, if you will. Because I don't see many catalysts ahead for Bitcoin besides some of this inflation data. Like, you try to go look at the news, there's nothing really big happening in the news right now. Rubrik files to go public. Xiaomi shares pop 15. Chinese smartphone maker that got into EV market. Dana Walden, Disney CEO. Nobody cares about the Disney CEO. They maybe care about Disney movies, but they don't care about Disney CEO. Trump posts bond. I guess the election is important to people, but I don't think the election's really going to have that many consequences, because we know the stock market's gone up with Biden in charge. The stock market went up with Trump in charge. The stock market will always go up. You know? Let's see. Macy's hasn't closed 150 stores yet, but Target, Kohl's CEOs already smell opportunity. You know, they want to buy up some of the stores. If I was them, I wouldn't. I would just try to focus on delivery. Don't even try to go with those ones. By where I live, there are still Kmarts that nobody has ever moved into. They're just abandoned areas. It's very awkward. We have these abandoned strip mall areas all over the place. There are some really nice ones that I go to. Don't get me wrong. They all built up. They're really nice. They have Targets in them. They have banking places. They have a whole bunch of food, like a food alleyway for you to get food and stuff like that, which is really good. But then there are some that are just from the 90s and 80s. They are closed. They're going to get demolished, and something will be built up in their place eventually. Who knows what that may be? I don't know. I'd like to see another Costco out here, to be frank. But, you know, how else am I going to use my Costco executive card? I love that thing. Let's see. But yeah, the reason luxury travel is so expensive is luxury travel is getting more expensive these days. I'm booking trips for this summer, and I'm like, first class is, they're charging me more, and I'm getting less because I'm not even allowed in the lounges anymore because I don't have those fancy dancy credit cards. I've never been able to justify paying all those fees for credit cards when it means less money. Like, cool perk, but that just means I'm paying for the perk and credit card fees and extra stuff, which I want to do. I'd rather just pay the $50 to go into the lounge and just sit there for a while. Although, I fly out to Vegas, I believe, early morning on the 13th or 14th. 13th, yeah. And the lounge isn't even open at that time, so I wouldn't even be able to get myself a scone or a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee is what I need at the airport in the morning. Oh, and hey, Hero, I'm happy to see you. Oh, and hey, NFT Hero. Michael thought Grayscale was not selling anymore last week. No, Grayscale is still selling. Go over here to Grayscale. Let's pop this open. Let's zoom in here just a tad. Let's make it to news so you guys can actually see kind of what's going on here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There you go. Maybe not as much as normal, but they're still selling here. These are a bunch of shit tokens that get sent over. I guess Matt's not shit token, but it got sent over. But typically, like, let me go to the next one. Oh, I forgot. What do you call it? It's the weekend here. A few days ago. There you go, 5 days ago. They weren't selling off too much. A little bit over here 5 days ago. Oh, it's just Bitcoin Trust. 5 days ago. They bought a little bit, it looks like. That was kind of nice. But they still sold off a good chunk of it today. This dump is just April Fool's. Let's see, profit taking and risk management. Oh yeah, I mean right now it's just kind of sit on your hands and wait. That's what I'm doing at least. For day traders, they're having fun buying right now to see if we can have a larger move. That's currently the play. You're seeing it try to become, again, we've seen this pattern sometimes. Dip and rip. I kind of want to see this consolidate a little bit more before I hop in on board that type of trade. Especially because it's going to be something of a short-term 2 to 3 hour trade. Nothing really more than that. Pete's Coffee? Ooh, Pete, that sounds pretty good. I don't even know what Pete Coffee is. I'm out here in Washington, so it's all Starbucks, GQ, Bigfoot Java. Bigfoot Java has been messing up my coffee lately, so I haven't been going out there. And plus, I have a nice espresso machine in my house. It's all been nicely cleaned, it's scaled, absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. It's a process to make coffee in the morning. You gotta grind it up, clean everything, put the puck in there, espresso. I don't put sugar or anything in it, which makes it a little bit easier as far as maintenance and whatnot, but still. That's right there. Bull market already over? Or I hope not. DJT stock is going to 2024. I haven't heard much about the Trump stock. I know it was on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the last week and a half or something like that. But I haven't had a chance to check into it too much. I know it popped and it probably dropped like IPOs usually do. I don't know what is even Reddit doing. Reddit was the big hot one before the Donald Trump one. And there Reddit goes. We talked about this earlier too, so I'm guessing the Trump one did something similar, or it may even already started to break down here. One of the reasons I just did not buy the Reddit IPO. I'm waiting to see what happens tomorrow, if this actually comes down or not. It's down 7% today. And it's at support, so I might even try to bounce, but if it keeps on falling down, ooh, that's just going to be painful, because everybody's all like, the IPOs are such a great thing, the IPO market is great. Just look at it, we've been through too many of these IPOs together, guys. We know how it works. It's a pop. The news talks about it being some great big thing where everybody's super excited, and they just still don't understand that a lot of the pump that's happening, it's retail traders doing a lot of fun trading with it, and then they just sell it off for profits, and all of a sudden, boom, it starts to come down. And that's where the real buyers come in. Hence why we started to buy up Hood and things of that nature. And Michael, yeah, Portland? Oh yeah, I've been to Portland in a hot minute, but my uncle came up from Portland to visit us for Easter. I saw him. He said there was a mudslide down there, and he had to take the Greyhound bus from Portland up to Tacoma, where my grandparents went up. Oh gosh, I could never take a bus that far. Pete and Starbucks are partners in Seattle. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Starbucks, they're okay coffee. My grandparents love them, but I prefer just your typical ma and pa stand. Usually not much of a line, usually good benefits or whatever. And yes, Elena, happy to see you. Oh, Dutch Bros. Yeah, I haven't been to Dutch Bros in a hot minute. I get irritated with our workforce usually, because the way they have those double lines. If somebody's taking very long over here and I'm right here, I usually just keep going straight to order right from the window. They get really pissed off if you do that, because they're trying to go back and forth. But I'm like, you're taking a very long time over here. The window is right there. Nobody's at the window. I'm just going to order right there and let the other person wait, because they took forever to order their coffee. Like sometimes I'm a very nice guy. Other times I just like the inefficiencies tick me off. Although I will say they have some pretty good energy style drinks there. I used to get some every now and again when I took Loki to the dog park. I used to get myself like an energy drink there, plus a pup cup for Loki. Now I don't go there anymore at all. At all. Mostly because I don't go to that dog park anymore. I typically just go to the beach with Loki, and he likes to run around over there. Not guilty. Oh yeah, I did hear there was that news today from Iran. What was it? Israel struck an Iranian embassy or something, but it was in Syria. So that also could have led to tensions going up, and also the dollar index going up a little bit more as well. I totally forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up. The weed cools the dip. I bet it is. Call of Duty? Oh my god, I haven't played Call of Duty forever, but I missed that game. Iran might mess with... Well, they don't even have to do much right now, because they still have those Houthi rebels down in Yemen. They're still causing issues. On top of that, if you guys don't know, the bridge out in Baltimore collapsed last week because of a ship going smack dab into it. And I don't know, while Bitcoin's consolidating here for a second, look at the weekly chart for oil. Not oil. Oil's going back up. Now, we're not at a historical high, but we're at the high we were back in October, which is still pretty big. If we go over here to the AAA gas prices, there we are. I keep forgetting to move my head back down, but after this subject, we'll move my head back down here. So gas is a little bit more expensive than it was yesterday. It's a teeny bit more expensive than it was a week ago. A month ago, we're much more expensive. A year ago, we're more expensive than we were a year ago. That kind of explains where we are at this point in time. Hair stats, yeah. Month ago, much higher. A year ago, not really much. Diesel's more flat. Premium's kind of a little more flat, mid. So the people in regular are kind of feeling the bite a little bit more. But I live in Washington, so you can see. Yeah, you can see how it's just the red is Washington here, the blue is national. Washington just has more expensive gas in general than everyone else. Yeah, there was a point a month ago where gas across the world or across the US was at $3.31. Over here is $4.10. Freaking brutal. Yeah, a lot of people have to drive, and it's just going to be a pain in the butt for them, which means less spending money. How are my oil stocks doing, actually? That'd be something to check out. ExxonMobil still going up. Schlumberger still sideways a little bit. Still going up generally. Let me move this over here. PXD, my beloved PXD, the breakout's still going on. That's nice to see. Yeah, I'm hoping PXD goes to all-time highs here. But then we also have Oxy. Oh, whoa. That's not as close to all-time highs, but this thing is making a move and a run for a breakout again. Anything else? Devon Energy? Yeah, even Devon Energy. Everybody is anticipating an oil spike, it seems like. Those ConocoPhillips. The market's pricing in a lot higher oil prices here. I'm wondering if we're going to be able to get those down here in time for the summer. Man, we're still not able to pump up here. Get ready for another battle as they try to push us down here. Oh, I had another line here somewhere, but I guess I just dropped it off. Let me add a ray instead. There we are. Trying desperately to have a high or low and not fall, but it looks like we're trying to take another level here. There you go. And then Michael, 61,500 support, correct, but I would guess it doesn't go below 64, 65. Right now, if it does go down below that, it might take a couple days at least to really get the force behind it, because we're gonna have to breathe here pretty soon. But that's definitely asking that. Oh, that's answering the question of Satya's question right there. Hey, Keeper, what's the onion on spell token? Oh, opinion. It's definitely going to take a hit hard here if Bitcoin drops back down to 62,000. I'm just going to buy a little bit more than continue holding on to it. Spell token is one of those tokens I don't really have much leverage positions on it, but I do have just flat out spot trades on it, just along with a UFO token and things of that lower, that smaller market cap metaverse play. Makes sense, dead dollar and alternative commodities trade. Well, if you have some money, you're definitely investing some of that money into oil right now. But I don't know. I've been holding oil for so long, I don't even have to add much in there anymore because the dividends are so good. Remember, that PXD play, that's my best oil trade right now, where I have like the majority of my funds in it, as far as like oil. But if I go over here to FinViz, I've showed you guys this before. PXD. 7% dividend. Right? And this is only going to go up as the price goes up more and more and more. So you're just going to see this update. I believe like a month ago, it was like 9% or something like that. Still great. It'll still do freaking fantastic. But again, it fluctuates a little bit. Hey, the code. Sol oversold on small time frames. Yeah, Solana is one of those things that pumped up a lot over the past few weeks, so it's definitely going to be coming down harder than a lot of other stuff. Same thing with Dogecoin, I bet, because Dogecoin pumped up. Yeah, right now Dogecoin is down 8.5% right now, while Bitcoin's only down 4.5%, BNB is only down 3%, AXS is only down 5.5%, Arbitrum's only down 5%, Ape's not down 5%. You're going to see things like that coming down a lot more if they've had that pump. If they haven't had that pump, they're still coming down relatively hard, just not as hard, I'd say. Oh, and hey, awake K-pop. Michael, it's all accumulation? Oh yeah, but everybody wants to know the best price. That's why we're talking about different support levels and stuff like that. Got to find that good price to buy. Because people don't like to buy and just wait. That's what I do. I'm just happy to buy and wait. Hey Michael, that'd be a good play, buying up stock in oil companies? I mean, if you were to do it a few weeks ago when we saw oil breaking out, it'd be a lot more profitable. But yeah, typically I like to hold oil stocks because the dividends are great, and we're going to need oil for a while here. There was a big push at the beginning of the Biden administration that made oil a little bit cheaper because, again, with the Green New Deal, I think that's what's called, very anti-oil, more, windmills, solar panels, stuff like that, right? More of that stuff. And, everybody felt really good about it, that sort of stuff. While oil was coming down a little bit, with this petroleum reserves and things like that, I was loading up on oil stocks left and right, and I was not ashamed of it at all. I don't have much faith in America's ability to do the green energy transfer. I believe it's going to have to be more from the private sector than the public sector, because the public sector, to me, has never really justified themselves as a smart actor in this space here. When I see, how would you even put it? Remember we had inflation, gas prices were very, very expensive. Everybody's really, really mad. Well, in order to combat OPEC and their manipulation, America started to manipulate the markets as well. And that's where we started to lower the strategic oil petroleum reserves. There was a point after that where I was like, oh, the oil companies are not going to be playing at all, because somewhere in the middle of that petroleum reserve outflows, and you saw a lot of pointer fingering at the oil barons and some of that, the oil companies were like, we want to pump more oil, trust us, we want to pump, we want to make a lot more money, but the government won't allow us to. And then Biden removed a whole bunch of red tape, and then they started to drill. A lot of the safety precautions and stuff were coming out, so the environment's not nearly as nice in some areas as you might, because of more oil being drilled out. But oil companies are not very happy. Biden is a little bit happy because gas prices, well, they were going down, now they're going back up. That's something we got to figure out what's going on there. Mostly because of all the stuff happening in the Middle East. But again, on top of all that, it's just going to add another layer of chaos around the commodities markets. And again, if gas costs more, the price to ship everything goes up as well. And that's where you're going to see much more pain. We got the Baltimore port down right now. We got the Houthi rebels in Yemen. We got Russia, Ukraine. The speaker is going to push forward a Ukraine package without border security. After every Republican was like, we want border security, they're going to give up on it all of a sudden. And I think Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, I think he'll be ousted as speaker for kind of betraying his word to his more conservative peers, I guess you would say. So there's a whole bunch of headwinds kind of coming up here, or at least kind of around. But to go back over to 2022, there was a chance for us to kind of get things more stable. We didn't take it. Because again, every president, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, they all walk this very fine line with their own base. And he's had to become a little more restrictive on oil. But still, oil companies are very, very happy right now. They might not be investing as much in America, but they are still investing. And then, of course, the big thing I was going to tell you guys about is there was a point in time where the government came to big oil and says, hey, we want to refill our petroleum reserves for a set price. and I think the price they said was like $70 or something. And the oil company was like, fuck that, no, we want $80 to $85 per a gallon. I guess that was the metric I think they're using. But anyway, the government was like, no. And now where are we at? Remember? Now the oil is at $85. You know? Oil is at like, oh, it seemed $84, heading up towards $85 a gallon. Or is it a barrel? Oh, excuse me. But anyway, oil's going up, and the strategic there you go. The petroleum reserves have not been refilled here. I know it's kind of hard to see, bear with me, but no. No, that's not what I wanted. Fresh. There you go. You can see how we haven't gone back up yet. We've kind of stabilized a little bit, but they haven't made a deal yet. So again, when the government starts to buy, that's taking supply away from everybody else, which is going to drive up demand as well. So the government doesn't want to do it right now, because if they do, oil is going to start to skyrocket, inflation is going to skyrocket, the dollar index is going to skyrocket. It's just going to be a shit show. So they're probably going to have to wait until like 2025 or 2026 at least. And then yeah, that'll take a minute here. Let's just say that it'll take a minute for them to get everything done. It's still trying to hold on here. I mean, we're casually getting pushed down, but it's not terrible. Maybe if we're going to change a character over here where we're breaking back above this 67,000 basically, that's where you might see bulls get a little bit more optimistic. Feels weird to have this long handlebar on here though. It makes it so much more difficult. Gas prices are at 50 cents where I live in the last 2 weeks. Over here, how much are they up? They're not up much. They're basically up quite a bit over the last month, it looks like, but week to week they haven't moved up. But again, every state is different. You know, Washington State, we don't necessarily drill a bunch of oil. We're a kind of different type of state. The Republican Tea Party replaced the Karl Rove crew. Oh God, I don't even remember much of Karl Rove. I'm maybe too young for that. Corporate only, innovate for profit and cost cutting efficiency. No. Humane conditions. Nope. Exactly. Which is why it was really weird when Biden, when he was like, okay, forget about the environment, let's drill, baby, drill. Because again, people were ticked off at high gas prices. Well, you guys all know. You remember how bad gas got last year. It was freaking atrocious. And the year before that, absolutely atrocious. There was a meme on TikTok going back at the time where it was some weird, crazy lady on the sound for the TikTok video saying, President Trump, please come back and help us, like, but screeching and crying, you know? But everybody did it. There was a lot of people, I noticed in my area, they were doing it by the Shell gas station, just trying to get followers and stuff. And more like the ghetto area where I have a friend that lives out there. And they record it, high gas prices. They, you know, they do a little sound, whatever, and they just show how expensive gas is, and they post it on TikTok for views. It was absolutely wild. But, you know, that type of stuff has effects. That's why we saw the strategic petroleum reserves. Oh, I don't have the chart anymore. That's why we saw stuff like that start to go down. Oil companies being like, hey, oil, we need you to pump more. We need you to pump more. We need you to pump more. And oil was like, do you really want us to do so, though? Because you're just saying you don't want us here a couple months ago. So it was definitely a flip-flop by Biden. But, I mean, at that point, you kind of have to flip-flop if everybody's like, we want cheap gas, we want cheap gas. You're going to have to make some type of flip-flop. I don't know what you want to call it. Cost me $80 to fill up the Sting the other day. Oh, geez. I think for me it costs about $60 to $65 to fill up my tank. But I just don't fill up my tank from empty. I'm against it. I'm terrified of having my gas tank below 50%. So typically once it hits 50, that's when I fill back up. So it's probably going to cost me like $30 to $35 there. There you go. And hey, Luke Schultz, happy to see you back, man. Think Bitcoin can get under 60K? There's a possibility for it. Right now, we're basically just in this consolidation where we broke down below this trend line here. You can kind of imagine this imaginary line right there. The support level we're really trying to hold is right here. I'm just using this one as a secondary one. But we're just trying to stay basically above $61,000 here. So we may consolidate, come back over here over the next few days, you know, something like this. Right, and then we're going to have some type of smaller breakout. It usually looks like a sideways W. Breakout here, people get more excited, and then we'll dip again, break out again, people get much more excited. But again, you know, that's people get freaked out about that. It may happen even shorter, because where is it at? Right here? Let me do this. There we are. Drag, there we are, okay. Over here is CPI and PPI data right there. So we have a lot of inflation data coming out here, which is going to be big. Ooh, sorry, I gave myself a quick little headache right there by trying to focus too much. I have had my contacts in my eyes way too long today. There you are. There you go. And Bitcoin right now is just trying to find a short-term bottom here to have a larger move. So people may call this something of a falling knife or something, but you know, we've had probably about an hour of consolidating, which has made things a little bit easier for everybody, which is, you know, nicer. Am I buying this right now? Not really. I'm just dollar cost averaging, if anything. I'm not really day trading this until I see maybe us having a larger move. Maybe back above 69,940, like right here. If we're able to make a move above that, perhaps I can actually get more in line. Plus, looking at the oscillators, maybe we have to hold on for maybe just another half an hour to 45 minutes. That might get me a little bit more bullish enough to buy in here. Scalpers may attack the breakout above the 20 moving average on the 5-minute chart, but that's a scalp play. That's not necessarily a long play. And hey, Courtney, I appreciate it. Thanks for wishing everybody well. We're doing pretty well over here. My sister just went back to college here yesterday. Her train was delayed, so she had to take a bus all the way up to Seattle to take the train up to Bellingham, which was interesting. As far as Dogecoin, same with Rosa. 18 cents supported, what you're looking at. I mean, right now you're definitely looking at you saw the breakdown happen. You saw the death cross coming over here. You're going to see the death cross happening here pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, I might even see it might come back down here to 17.5 or so. You know, where's the 20 at right now? The 20's at 17.5, yeah. So I keep an eye on that. Because if Bitcoin does take another drop down here for maybe 1 or 2 days, that's enough to push Bitcoin all the way back down to even 17 here. So maybe if you're looking at dollar cost average, starting off at 18.5, maybe a good way to go. Excuse me, 18, maybe a good way to go. But you're definitely looking at something like this, right? And this could be anywhere from 18.5 to 17. I don't think it'll break down below 16.5 though. And that seems a little bit more reasonable here. Let me pull up a Fibonacci level here. Let me get rid of all the old technicals for this one. Let's pull this up a little bit closer. And let's just pull this down. There you go. Hour chart. Okay. Didn't really work out here too well. Didn't work out here. It worked here, I guess, a little bit. Afterward, you're sitting around 17.5 as far as the Fibonacci is concerned. I don't think this is going to make a big difference, but let me see how much this moves across. Oh, no, actually, this one looks a little bit better. There's the level support, 18 right there. So I would say 18 to 17.5 may be a good opportunity here. But again, if you're looking for that short-term bump, it could work out that way. I'm looking at a few wicks, but not much. 17.5 to 8 is probably what I'd be going for. There we go. 15 right there. Did we pop above the 20? Yeah. Here are the scalpers jumping into the market here, looking for something of a half an hour hold at the max, perhaps. Oh, hold on, some guy's spamming up a shit ton in here. There we go. Hey Zach, I'm guessing somewhere around $100,000. It may go higher than that, but I'm trying to. I've never been good at guessing where Bitcoin's going all-time high. I normally just wait for that big move to happen, then a sideways action, then we'll see what happens. Right now, we're kind of having that same type of move right now, but we haven't even had the halving yet, which is causing a lot more confusion for me and I would guess other influencers out there. Hey, Neftali, Sheeb's support level really hasn't changed all too much at all. It's still the same support it's been for the past few weeks here. Back around 2386 or so. He may even come back down here as far as 2123. But basically, since it looks like there's going to be a death cross here, you might be looking at something closer to just the middle of the zone over here. But it's definitely going to continue to come down here over the next few days. Unless Bitcoin whales come in here to like just, you know, savage up the bears or something. There we are. Did I know Quantifury? It's a trading platform without fees? I have not heard of that whatsoever. Usually I try to stay to the more established ones. You surprised? Well, remember, Book of Meme didn't really do much over the past couple weeks. It had that big move, then it kind of died down a little bit. It's coming down a little bit right now, but overall, if you go to the 4-hour chart, you know, it's still been chugging along. But you can see how it pretty much is basically going sideways pretty much since, oh, let's just say, I guess it's kind of found its footing over here. Since March 19th, pretty much done sideways action, finally breaking out here and trying to go higher. Not terrible here. I have an open position on Book of Meme. I'm hoping it does well here in the long run. There we are. I want to see if the scalpers are able to make any money right here. They're just looking at a small breakdown or maybe a small breakout. Momentum carrying it on, hoping the 15-minute catches on as well. Be interesting though. There we are. And then Terminator, we just talked about Shiba a few seconds ago. Just rewind. Someone just dropped 250k on Boom, a Book of Meme. I mean, when you see a meme token like that, and it's still relatively a lower market cap one, people are gonna try to still buy into it and get lucky. Now, the people that are dropping $250,000 on that, they can afford to lose $250,000. So don't feel like you got to toss in like $5,000 to $20,000 unless you can actually afford to lose $5,000 to $20,000 without batting an eye. And hey, LJ, I appreciate you watching it. Yeah, I spent a long time on that video. I'm hoping you guys learned something from it. Bitcoin making an impact on the daily. Did we double top? I don't think we double topped. It might be more of a triangle, but yeah, we're definitely making a pattern similar to that. There we are. Let's see, pop this open very fast. Hold on 1 second. This one. Still doing okay. I'm looking at numbers. Yeah, not terrible, but okay, sorry about that. Just double checking some numbers. Remember, I got a new Ethernet cord here, so I'm just double checking that all my signal strength is fine. I don't think it's supposed to have any issues, but I still don't want to face those issues even if they do happen. Hey NFT Hero, do I notice that the mega dumps happen in the same time of day? Relatively kind of closer to daytime here. Okay, wait, what's the matter? Sorry, my dog's over here. He wants more attention. I don't have any treats for you. Gotta wait. I woke him up from his nap, so he's not happy with me. Or he's happy with me, but he wants a treat for being woken up. There we are. And hey, Neo Dog, I don't own much Cadena, but I've heard people loading up on over the past, I think it was like 2 months or so. But they, I think they're holding for quite a bit of time here. And hey, back in the game, welcome back to the Ruby level, excuse me. Let me know if you have any questions, my man. And have a good night, Delilah. Let's see right here. Make sure I'm not missing anything right here. No, that should be fine. Alright, hold on a second here, guys, while I go over towards... I want to see if there's any more news about what's going on with Bitcoin and Dogecoin and stuff. Or anything, really. A lot of people are going to be antsy about that type of stuff. This guy always hates Bitcoin. I don't know why. Oh, no, my April Fool, excuse me. Different guy. I always think of any guy like this as Peter Schiff. Damn program like that. X needs to be able to refresh this. I hate how I can't refresh the newest information. You can do latest, but latest gives you all the spam and shit like this. You know, there used to be a way where you could just, how do I say, like just scroll up or refresh and it would give you a whole new set of data over the last few hours. Because right now, anything that's like an hour ago, what use is that going to be to me here? Yeah. If you guys are panicking, it always kind of pays to just zoom out a little bit here. Oh, actually, where are his price targets at? Wait a second. I don't know what this one is to. Different numbers or something. Different numbers. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Hey, back in the game. Oh, and hey, RLA, happy to see, man. The notice on the daily looks like we made a lower high. Seems to be a big indicator of the past for massive dumps. What's your take? Right now, it seems so. Typically, yes. I would say typically, yes. The issue right now is just kind of what's going on in the market, in the world, because this pump is so ahead of schedule. Typically, this type of big move should be happening way out here, closer to June, July, post-halving, where we're, you know, where everything's going sky high and everything's fine. Right now, though, because of the way we're kind of in this bull market and we have these two big indicators coming up pretty soon, or how would I call them? Not indicators. I mean, big news events. Those are both massive catalysts to get Bitcoin gearing up again for a very large move. They're huge risks, though. So the first one, of course, is the CPI data, then following that is the PPI data. I'm going to be talking about those two sets of data for quite a bit of time. Now, they're not for a couple weeks here. It's not this Wednesday. It's next Wednesday. So when next Wednesday is CPI, next Thursday is PPI. When that data comes out, it's going to cause an earthquake in the market because it's either going to make us come down a little bit more. This is where we possibly break down below $60,000 and stuff like that. Or it's going to make us break all-time highs because inflation is truly coming down. And if inflation is coming down very well for the month of March here, well, in some respects, that means that the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell can cut rates in June. And if the market prices that in again, all of a sudden the stock market's going much higher, the crypto market's moving much higher, everybody's happy. And on top of that, the dollar index right here is also going to be going back down, which will make everybody a lot more happy. Remember, when the dollar index started to crash back over here in October, this was one of the reasons that set Bitcoin off besides this standard ETF. Remember, October, well, I guess October, November over here. Bitcoin, yeah, October, November over here, right? And you saw the grind that was kind of happening afterwards. And of course, we also had the story with the ETFs and stuff like that. So that was also part of it. But still, it kept us going here. You can almost call what we just had here this, or even more, just this. This was a demand crunch where the ETFs came and tried to buy up a whole bunch of stuff. I know it's going to sound a little silly, but later on, after the halving, that's where you have a demand crunch, because ETFs are still going to be in there buying. People are still going to be buying because we have that natural instinct. But at this point, I think the best we can hope for is coming back down here, close to 64 to 62,000, trying to hold and then have a larger move. Typically, from a historical perspective, when you see Bitcoin making an all-time high like we have over here or over here, and you see that flattening off where Bitcoin's not doing much, that death cross usually means a larger move is coming down, whereas everybody gets really freaked out and scared. Same thing over here, freaked out and scared. And then we try to find some semblance of support, and then we're looking for other stuff, and this is where that 52,000 type of move comes into play, along with inflation and stuff like that. But again, that's not all-time highs, but over here it is, you know. That type of move, and everything's slow, people usually freak out, they sell off a little bit. We've tried to sell off more over the past few days. It just looks like whenever we get down to a certain level, the ETFs the inflows start to grow a lot more, and all of a sudden we're back on top, and everybody's like, okay, well, if the ETFs are here, why am I panicking? Let's buy with the ETFs. So I would say I would be much more bearish if the ETFs weren't here to kind of bolster us up right now. Man, we weren't even able to close above the 20 moving average here on the 5. I mean, this is just freaking brutal right now. Here we are. Let's see. Can you pop the Smart Money Concepts Guide video chart setup to see change of structure? What do you mean by that? I mean, you can see on this chart, the trending structure is all right here, here. I don't make it color profile because the color profile looks kind of weird to me. I typically don't like it. That's why I have it set up to over here. So if anybody wants to ever look at it that way, I have it available. You know, like, you know, Bitcoin was bearish over here. You got that sell signal. You could, if you bought earlier, you can sell, or you can try to short. You have different options basically. Right now, it'd be more of a sell type of signal to me, but still. But that long instruction should give you everything you need to know. There you go. And we're still getting pushed down here a little bit. Yeah, let's zoom in just a little bit more here, just so we can see support right there. And we're getting close to that support level, that's for sure. There we go. Yeah, no worries, back in the game. Thanks for becoming a member. Remember, if you're a member, you could ask as many questions as you like. I never mind it. Hey, Larry, inflation is not coming down? Of course not. That's why everything's kind of getting a little bit more scary here. Jerome Powell, again, I know we talk about this too much, but for those of you guys who are new to the channel and the way we talk about inflation, Jerome Powell came out last month during the FOMC, and he pretty much said, like, hey, we know that inflation is going up. We can see it. We can, we see that data. You see that data. We all kind of looking at it. It's kind of going up for the last couple of months. We see it. We know. But we don't want to try to fight that any more than we are. We're just going to keep on doing higher for longer because we see this great economy over here. Low job unemployment, Everybody has a job. Wages are slowly going up and not too fast. We like what we see over here. So we're going to contain this balance where inflation's going up a little bit more, but the economy is solid. That's what they're after right now. And of course, people like me are like, what the fuck, dude? I don't care if the economy gets worse. Maybe, okay, this is me being maybe a little bit more spoiled. I should care about the economy a little bit more. But I'm like, it's okay if the economy gets worse in the short term if inflation comes back down, because once the inflation comes back down, everything's settled. Then you guys can cut rates, and all of a sudden this period of like pain for like a quarter to a year, everything starts to be a little better now. But no. He's not thinking like that. He wants to keep the economy chugging along when inflation's going higher. So yeah, the big thing is, will inflation be a surprise to the upside or downside? One of the things that's been bugging everybody is inflation has been going, it's been much more of a surprise the last 2 months. Like, let's see. CPI forecasts, let's see. News. This is from Morningstar. So February CPI report forecast to show inflation rising faster thanks to gas prices. This was from March 8th. We need to find something that was actually a little bit more recent. Let's go over here to maybe in the last week. Forward guidance, our weekly preview, RBC economics. Let's take a look at this. So next Friday's, this was for the week of April 1st, which is April 1st. So next Friday's employment data is expected to show job growth remained in positive territory, plus 25,000 from February. But again, it will not be enough to keep up with the surging growth in labor supply. Therefore, we forecast another tick higher in the unemployment rate to 5.9%. Okay, making sure there was nothing drastic. Further above the 5% in January of 2023. So far, a large share of unemployment rate increases has come from longer job search times for new job seekers. You guys have seen the memes out there, I'm sure. I'm trying to find a job. I'm trying to apply, but I just can't find anybody. Yeah, it's a real thing. Let's see. Not much what I'm looking for here. Bitcoin's still fine. Okay, Bitcoin's still fine. USAC back forecast March. Barron's. No, this is PCE. Oh, it was just updated 3 days ago. It wasn't made in 3 days ago. Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I wish I had a forecast here. I think Trading Economics has one, but it's not a formal one. It's just the web page's personal thought process. Yeah, their forecast is 3.3%. Last month it was 3.2, which means it's going to get higher and hotter and hotter and hotter, which is definitely going to spook the market a little bit. If we're lucky and it's 3.2 instead of 3.3, that's enough for the market to go higher, though. If it's a surprise to the downside, that's a huge shock. That's a big win for Bitcoin, NASDAQ, Dow, other, the markets in general. The dollar index will probably have a really bad day if that's the case. I do hold Bitcoin Cash. Yes, I do. There we go. Hey guys, and for most tokens, guys, you're seeing them coming down more and more and more. This is either going to be an opportunity for you guys to dollar cost average them. This is what I'm doing with the majority of the tokens I see that I've been looking for an opportunity to buy the dip. Or you guys are going to be day trading where you guys are going to try buying sometime over the next hour to maybe next 6 hours if we do take another leg down. And you guys are going to try to hold on for a little bit throughout the day. That's kind of a little bit more scary for new investors, so you guys probably going to be a little more careful with that one. But the easier thing to do is to hold and buy for longer term momentum. But again, if you guys want to buy these dip and scary parts, you can always wait for the Bitcoin breakout. That'll happen sometime, maybe next week or the week after. You can always wait to buy the breakout. That makes things a little bit easier for people. Definitely just a little bit of volatility today. But again, last few hours, last 2 hours and 20 minutes, Bitcoin's been doing nothing. Now, we've really slowed down here on the drop off. And then multi-slacker, inflation spiked for 2 months. It explains the vacancies and obvious downturn. Well, heck, gas is going up too. That's going to make a huge impact on what we're looking at. So I think we're getting a rate cut. I'd probably say the way the Fed is going, we're going to get a rate cut in June, unless we see data in the next week's data and next month's data, which is going to be April's data, basically. If both of those are too hot, yeah, we're not going to have a rate cut in June. But at this point, we should still have a rate cut in June. Again, you take a look at inflation data. We're going sideways here, but you know, at least it's not technically back up to like September levels or even December levels. You know, we're at 3.4%. The forecast for this one is at what, 3.3? We're still sideways. If we have some type of pop up, which is unreal, like not likely, then things get really scary in a hurry. But I don't think we're anywhere close to there. And remember, this all goes back to why Jerome Powell is doing this strategy of higher for longer. Because again, you go back in time over here to the 70s or the 40s, we'll just stick to the 70s. You see how he peaked? They cut rates too early, and then inflation came back. The worst possible scenario for Jerome Powell is he starts to cut rates in June, and inflation starts to soar. I don't think that would happen necessarily, because I don't think people have as much money as they did back when the economy was opening up and the government was just giving out free checks for everybody. So I don't think it'll necessarily have a crazy move, but I still think inflation, it'll still take a while for those larger moves to happen. Multi-sticker 3.3 in their dreams. What do you call? I don't know how. This is why I was waiting for the other forecast, the consensus forecast. I don't know where to find the consensus one is at. They were correct about the February one and the January one. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be hotter or lower? That'd be actually something to talk about there as well. Or actually, multi-stacker. What level? 3.4, 3.6, or something like more like a 3.2, 3.1? And there we go. Things looking okay at this point. Right now, just stabilizing a little bit. Let me see. No, I don't see any green on my charts right now for the most part, besides oil and the dollar index. Let's pop this back up here. Oh, wait, wrong one. There you go. Last hour, nothing. Nothing has been moving last hour. Let's see. Sheeb is down 3%, a little bit more than other things out here. Alt's on 1 to 2%, looks like. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not too bad right now. Bitcoin's finding support. We're trying to bounce off, and that's kind of the story for now. 3.6, 4.6. Oh, geez, multi-slacker. If we go to 4.6, the world is gonna freaking end. Can you imagine with the news like Fox Business, CNBC, and Bloomberg? They'd be shitting their stools on the on TV live. The market would crash like 20% in one day. Not crypto market, like the stock market would crash like 20% one day. It'd be absolutely crazy. No bounce. Yeah, we're having a very, very hard time bouncing. We haven't even found a way to break out above the 20 here. I mean, if it was me, it might be kind of fun to go long here on a scalp. That seems justifiable. Might give it a few more minutes, but I would say this is an okay opportunity for a scalp. Again, you'd only be in and out within maybe a half an hour max or something, but it might be kind of fun to try to trade that one. Gold mining up, yeah. Gold has been doing fine. A lot of assets against the dollar just doing a lot better. Heck, even go over here to gold very fast. Go to the monthly chart. Gold is finally breaking out again, going higher. I own some gold, but I don't own much because this thing, you know, Bitcoin's always been a better investment than gold. It always looks a little bit easier. You can almost see a little bit of like a shoulder, a head and a shoulder, and you broke out above that. Kind of. No, not. Or was this one gigantic, ugly shoulder? This is one tight shoulder. I guess there's different ways of thinking about it. But regardless, we're breaking out and gold is going a lot higher here. But I mean, I don't know. Gold hasn't been moving up as much as I want it to. Like, gold finally broke out after consolidating for how many years? Oh, geez. 107 months. We only got a larger move maybe after 146 months, which is years and years. That's like 10, 11, 12 years. You know, that's not, it's, again, the move you're seeing from the low to the high right now, that's 116%. You know what I mean? Like, even Dogecoin here, if you bought back in the day, back, 2011 or something, or whatever, it's going to be doing much better. Even if you bought Dogecoin over here in the slumps, not even at the lowest low point, you just bought over here, you bought too high, you FOMO'd in, right? You're still pretty happy at 97% profit. It went all the way up to 143%. You're still happy with it. Gold has just been, like, I like it, I hold it, but it's more of something I think is stable, which is kind of weird, Stable is not what you typically are thinking of. Let's see. I really want to see if we can go green here on the 15. That might be more of a sign to buy some up here. That's the go signal, I guess, for me here. Or if we're able to break out above the 20 here. That's what I was hoping for here, but you can see we got rejected right there. We just weren't able to do it. I was hoping scalpers would come in if we wouldn't push this up a little bit more. We got another temp for the next 10 minutes or so. Try to do it one more time. Peter Schiff would like a word with you. Hey, I mean, if he wants to invest as much money as he wants to in gold, sure, but I've been making a lot more money in cryptocurrency than he has been in gold. I guarantee that. And hey, Bridges, altcoins are frozen. Oh yeah, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been doing nothing for the last couple hours. Altcoins are just going to be doing the same exact thing here. Some altcoins may find ways to pump up more, but you can definitely see, well, that was a stable coin, sorry. But definitely a whole, it's basically a big game of copycat here. Big game of copycat. Real estate is new gold. That makes a lot of sense here. I mean, everything's gotten so much more expensive. Even the houses around me in Seattle and whatnot. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's right there. Six months holding into the halving DCA today. Oh yeah. Well, again, altcoins got destroyed. Depends on the altcoin, I guess. Well, it really depends on when you bought. Remember, we've been talking about FOMOing and stuff over the past, I guess, 2.5 months now. But if you guys bought a few months ago, you guys are so happy. But if you guys bought last month, you guys are obviously not very happy. Hence, I'm one of those guys that bought last month because I started a new dollar cost average weekly portfolio. I'm still going to be buying and buying and buying and buying here for a while, but I'm not going to be selling for months. So I guess I have a different little bit of strategy, right? Oh, Ned Tango, happy to see you, man. A few things are happening, but it's not like a big piece of news. We got some more Middle East turbulence. We got the dollar index going up, and we just have a typical breakdown coming from Bitcoin. And right now, Bitcoin's hovering around 66,660. And it's trying to make a reversal, but you can see there's not much interest in having a nice clean pop here. So no big news event though. I even checked Coinbase to double check to see if they're working properly. They are working properly at this point. But you could, 4-hour chart, there you go. Now we got some consolidation and we're waiting to see what happens next, if we're going to consolidate or break out, or if we're going to come back down here and break down. When we go back over here towards 2020 and whatnot, let me we've been in a couple of these scenarios before. Now, typically, we're not in these weird things when the halving comes. Like, the halving comes, then we go boom. But things are weird right now. Things are definitely weird. Where we've had these moves, we break down below that previous level of support. We come down a little bit more. We bounce around, and eventually we break out. And that breakout is where things start to reaccelerate again. And then before there, a little bit here. Maybe not the same on this one. Still, you have this consolidation. You break down below that previous level of support. My brain's not hitting it, or just my head's not blocking it. Then you consolidate a little bit more, break out, go higher, and so forth here. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, though, it's back over. We're just dealing with the the average trader's fear of what's going to happen next. There we are. Oh, there we go. We finally closed above it. Now we may finally start to see a little more of a bull campaign hop in here. The 15's still not green for me yet, but it's getting there. Scoops. but let's just keep this here so we can kind of watch it. This is the only important thing. This is the last 2 hours of trading data. And hey, Trav, let's see. And hey, Mike, happy to see you, man. You think we're going down from here? I mean, from day to day, yes. I mean, right now we're just talking about a scalp play, so yeah. The job openings and labor turnover survey news later around 9 hours from now. Maybe around 8 o'clock in the morning my time or something like that. Hey, Cleo. Oh, typically for a play like this, your stop loss would be right around 66,429. That way, you know, if it's a high risk play, right? And I'd probably start to sell off some back around $67,000. And afterwards, if it's able to make that larger move up, in which case it's able to start to break above this 20 moving average, you might even have a price all the way up to $68,000 if you really want to get lucky. But I would say 67,300, 67,500, good price target here. But that one's going to be holding overnight though, so it's not necessarily a scalp play. I know. But I'm guessing you had some leverage on it. Let's see. Short-term scalp. What are you, yeah. So yeah, you're probably just looking for around $67,000 here. That small breakout. Not hoping for it to just go right there, because again, this is taking so long. I doubt it would just go like that, run up to the 20 moving average. It would have to consolidate, have that larger move, and then get rejected off of this resistance, you know, and eventually make that nice breakout there to go test out the 20 moving average on the 15-minute chart. There we are. That's if you're scalping, right? Really short-term play right there. With a stop loss still, because I think that still gives you a nice ratio here, doesn't it? Still lower, 67. Yeah, a ratio of 1.56, so it's not 1-to-1 ratio, which is what I'm hoping for here. Nice little in and out. And if you see some resistance up here and you just want to sell to take the profit, you can also do that. But that also depends on how much leverage you put in there, because that might adjust the fees and how much profit you take off overall. And hey, JF, all your Coinbase transactions are failing? Let me go check out Coinbase again. Let's get at this very fast, get at this very fast, get that. Gas prices, Fed, there we go. Still seems to be working, but let's do a double check here. Why are there so many bots? So many bots on Coinbase. I like how the bots have check marks now. They're a sophisticated bot, even the ones with no faces. What are these bots? Yeah, okay, so I don't see any news about Coinbase failing yet, but that could definitely be a little bit of a freak out moment for sure. All right, there we go. All right, so for now, guys, I'm going to hop off. It's been fun talking with you guys tonight. Bitcoin's been pretty much doing nothing for the last couple hours, pretty much just going sideways. Overall, Bitcoin did break down here, so just be aware that we're most likely going to be coming back down over the next few hours or next day or so. This breakdown was very, very important. We've seen this happen in a lot of stocks over the years, over the last few months even. Consolidation, wait to see what happens next. The big thing here for tomorrow is that if we do start coming back down here, we don't really want to start breaking back down below $62,500 and $61,000. If we start breaking down below those, Then things get a little bit more nasty, and we're probably heading back down into the 50s, and of course everything's going to be a lot more freaky, okay? But again, I'll see you guys a little bit later on tonight if the market decides to go down even more. I'll be live in like 2 to 3 hours. If everything still stays kind of quiet, I'll get some sleep so I can stream with you guys tomorrow while we're seeing more things happening. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot. But ultimately, guys, I know I say this a lot when we're having these types of moments. Bitcoin is still at $66,000 and $666,000. $66,666. Lost sixes, my bad. We're still at a pretty good level overall in this bull market, but don't be surprised if we do take a move down. I know this is hard because you guys really don't control this, but do yourself a favor. If you guys ever see my videos where I don't really have the best thumbnails and I'm just talking, like I told you guys Bitcoin is going wild for Easter. In this video, I told you guys if Bitcoin didn't break above $72,000 or $73,000, you're most likely going to see a big push down Monday evening. And we're here Monday evening, and you can see Bitcoin's big push down. Like I kind of tell you guys this ahead of time, just in case you guys want to forecast or you guys want to try to use that information to trade off of. That's why I put out those videos. So, you know, they're there for a reason. Just because the thumbnail or the video says Bitcoin is going wild, yeah, it was going wild with a nice pump. But it doesn't mean I'm not talking to you guys about what happens if things don't continue to pump up, okay? So, see you guys a little bit later, and thank you guys so much for watching. Loki says hello. Loki. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at you being a good boy. So, Loki says hello, kind of. He's going to go get a nice little treat right now. But anyway,